Shalom, shalom. HALALYAM, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great MILLSTONE, the teacher will well. Peace and salutations be to hopeful elect. But that Tazon Gabar coming at you from the prophets in Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. This is going to be titled, These Bodies Lusteth to Destroy Themselves. Alright. And the foundation of this class is basically a little bit of meditation. You know, doing a little meditating on, you know, life as a whole. You know, what are we doing down here? What is, you know, what did King Solomon mean when he said, I behold all things under the sun, and all things are vanity and vexation? So let me go into it. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 14. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Alright, so under the sun, which is what here on earth, the place where the realm which we dwell in right now, and these bodies, all things are vanity and vexation because, well, number one, these bodies are temporal, meaning temporary. Okay, you don't keep them forever. Alright, number two, these bodies are actually working against us, you know, believe it or not. But the Lord has given us the RAWCHAA QADASH to use it, to control it, to work for us, you know. And yet it'll still go off times, man. You know. Let me grab this, what Paul said. This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 19. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse... Let's see. Verse 10. It says, And the commandment which was ordained to life I found to be unto death. Alright, it says, For sin, taking occasion by the commandment, deceived me, and by it slew me. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy and just and good. Was then that which is good made death unto me? YAHAWASHI forbid. But sin, that it might appear sin, working death in me, by that which is good, that sin by the commandment might become exceeding sinful. For we know that the law is spiritual. So there you go. But I am carnal, sold under sin. So the laws, ain't nothing wrong with the laws, but to break them is the sin. That's where the sin comes. That's where death comes. It's to break them. But the problem is, what Paul's saying here, it says, in verse 14, for we know that the law is spiritual. Okay, meaning you have to be completely in the spirit to keep them holy, man. You know, you have to be always in the spirit. It says, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Alright, so we are carnal because we're in these fleshly bodies, these carnal bodies, man. Sold under sin. So it says, if then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, parentheses, that is, in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. It says, for to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. All right, because we're at a constant war, the flesh against the spirit. You want to do things in the spirit, but you always find the flesh exhausting the spirit. And whenever you do something in the spirit is exhausting the flesh. You ever notice when you doing lessons, you end up getting hungry? All right, because the spirit is exhausting the flesh, man. All right, and it's the spirit is vexed with the flesh, and the flesh is vexed with the spirit, and these two are contrary one to another. All right, so that when you want to do something in the spirit, the flesh gives you physical effects to keep you from doing it, man. Oh, I'm tired. Oh man, I'm hungry. Oh man, I'm bored. You know, the flesh will throw carnal. It'll throw its own afflictions at you, man. I should say, it'll throw its own pain at you. It'll pain you and make you ache to go and do, carnal things rather than spiritual things. And it's the same thing with the spirit, because the spirit will scold you whenever the flesh is trying to do something. The spirit will scold you and then tell you, get your ass out. What you doing? The Lord's coming. The Lord's coming. You ain't doing shit. You really think you're the elect? The spirit gonna scold your ass and make you, put that fire on you to do the work for the Lord, man. YAHAWASHI. And that's going to bring exhaustion to the flesh. Okay. You're gonna be down in your mind. Your mind is gonna be beaten down. You're gonna be, oh man, I need to do something for the Lord. But that's the spirit and the flesh. That's the war of the spirit of the flesh, man. Okay. For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do. Because your spirit in you saying, I ain't trying to do that shit, man. That shit evil, it's wicked, it's off. The Lord is not pleased with that. But somehow you find yourself doing it anyways. It's because these fleshly bodies, you can't ever actually get a full grip on these fleshly bodies, man, because you're inside of them. It's like trying to be clean, laying in a puddle of mud. You can't get clean unless you're taken away from the mud. It's the same thing with these bodies. We can't be completely clean, unless we're taken away from these bodies. All right, these fleshly bodies, because they always. That's why the scripture says our righteousness are as filthy rags, because these bodies cause us to go off, whether you even have acknowledgement of it or not. You're going off constantly in these bodies, man, because they lust. These bodies lust against the spirit, and the spirit lusts against the flesh. The spirit wants to do things for the Lord, spiritual and righteous things, while the flesh wants to do things for itself, wicked and carnal things, man. So you find yourself trying to do something for the Lord, but the flesh is pulling you to do something worldly. And then you realize that these bodies, they're never satisfied. You go after your lust and accomplish it, and the next day the sun ariseth again, and with it your old lust is revived, man. Your lust comes back. You want more and more. These fleshly bodies will never be satisfied. I think I'm gonna title less than that. These fleshly bodies will never be satisfied. Because even though you have a heart's desire, you desire something in your heart, as long as you're in these bodies, you'll never get enough of it. You'll never have enough. You're always going to want more. There's going to be something different that you're going to want. It says, now if I do that, what? It's like here. Now if I do that, I would not. It is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. Because as long as we attempt to do the things in the spirit, the flesh always going to be there with you. Because these bodies are called, these are your chains of darkness, man. It says, For I delight in the law of YAHAWASHI after the inward man, which is the spirit. So we delight in doing things to please the Lord, YAHAWASHI. It says, but I see another law in my members, which is the body, this flesh, warring against the law of my mind. Okay, going to war against the law of the mind, it's at a constant battle. Okay. And bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. And somehow you end up doing something that you didn't want to do. And you just sit there stuck like, damn, man. You know, but the truth be told, the Lord understands our suffering. The scripture says, the Lord knoweth our frame, and he remembereth that we are dust. All right. That means what? The Lord knows that we're in these fleshly bodies. Okay, we can't keep the law perfectly. We can't be perfect in the spirit. Well, you know, in the spirit, you're perfect. But as long as the spirit is with this flesh, it's always going to bring you down. Okay, it says, O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? Okay. So these bodies they lusteth to die, man. Okay, from the creation, they were, you know, when sin came about, these bodies began to lust to die. And what does that mean? They lust to sin. And the wages of sin is death. So these bodies hasten to their own dust, man, their own demise. And ain't nothing you can really do about it but prolong that and push that day back by living righteously, man, to the best of your ability. But these bodies, man, these bodies are walking tombs. Touching that, I said about these bodies can never get enough. They'll never be satisfied. 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 43. 2nd Ezra 7 and 43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for it to come, wherein corruption is past. Because these bodies are corrupt. These bodies themselves are corruption, man. Okay, but the time is coming where these bodies are going to pass. We're going to get new bodies. And it shows you right here. It says, intemperance is at an end. And intemperance is just, it means you cannot be satisfied, you know, with what you have. You're always going to want more and more and more, you know. Never being able to say it's enough. It says, intemperance is at an end. Infidelity is cut off. Even the unbelief is going to be cut off, man. It says, righteousness is grown and truth is sprung up. It says, yeah, it says, and truth is sprung up. So righteousness is going to be grown. What's that mean? We're going to be put in righteous bodies. Only the Israelites going to be put in righteous bodies and superhuman bodies. And these bodies are going to be temperate. They're going to know when enough is enough. They're not going to lust. You know, all things are going to be made for our pleasure. Okay? But these bodies ain't going to go off again. Our new bodies ain't going to go off against us, man. These bodies we have now are constantly making offenses against our spirit. Okay? They constantly go off against our spirit and go against our will, which is what our spirit wills. All right? Because they run to do their own thing. You know, and your spirit is subject to it. It's like it's being tied to a chair and watching as your flesh goes and does all this foolishness, this folly, you know. Let me grab this. And you just be disgusted with yourself, man. Because your spirit wants to do right. And then you watch your flesh do wrong. And you say, I'm going to do right, I'm going to do right. But you watch your flesh do wrong. You know, and you just be at complete dissatisfaction with yourself, and it brings you down. It's vexing. That's why Ecclesiastes says vanity and vexation, you know. In the book of 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 4, for if YAHAWASHI spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. Okay, so these chains of darkness are these bodies. We're attached to these bodies, and we can't be severed from it unless the Lord gives the action to be severed from these bodies. These bodies are our prisons. They're like a death row, man. We're in prison in these bodies. Okay, and your sentence doesn't end until the Lord calls you back up. Okay, and the thing is, you try to enjoy yourself. You try to enjoy your time while being here by doing right by the Lord, pleasing the Lord. But you always find that this body takes you back to death, man. You're gonna find that you can never be truly perfect. You know, the scriptures say the soul that sinneth, the soul that sinneth shall die. All right, and it's just not meant for anybody to be immortal right now. In these bodies at least. But the elect are immortal because they're not going to taste of death. They're going to be changed. You know, these bodies truly will die because they won't be in them anymore. But they're going to be placed into a new body at an instant. You know, scripture say in the twinkling of an eye we shall be changed, man. Okay, so it's going to be snap, quick of the finger. You know, it's not going to be like the grievous deaths that 2/3 are going to have to taste. And these heathen are going to have to taste, man. You know, these Edomites. You don't want to die the death of an Edomite, man. All right, you want to be changed. Because there's going to be a translation either way, either through death or just being changed, you know, upon a sudden. You know, but these bodies can't come with us into the kingdom, brothers. These bodies got to go. They are faulty. It's got the definition of faulty. It says the definition of faulty means working badly or unreliably because of imperfections. Similar words is defective, unsound, inoperative, damaged, broken, malfunctioning, defective, out of commission, you know, done for. These bodies are done for, man. Okay. These things are, these bodies are searching for death, while a spirit is searching for life. And you constantly find yourself being pulled either direction. You know, one day, maybe the beginning of the day, you're being pulled towards life, and towards the end of the day, you're being pulled towards death. Before you go to sleep, you're being pulled towards life again. You know, and it's just a constant battle, you know. As scripture say, there is no discharge in that war. You know, that means you ain't gonna be able to completely do away with the wicked ways of this flesh and be completely in the spirit while you're here on these bodies on earth, man. Okay, you ain't gonna be able to just cut them shits off. You're gonna always find emotions slipping through, lust slipping through, weakness slipping through, sluggishness slipping through. Okay, these bodies are the enemies of our spirit, so that when we seek to do right by the Lord YAHAWASHI, you find yourself doing wrong and you beat yourself up. The scriptures say, blessed is he that's not condemned in his own mind. You know, because these bodies will definitely take you there, man. They will definitely take you there, but you got to understand them. Before you can move forward and grow in the truth, you got to understand the bodies that you're in, okay, so that you can understand the conditions. Okay, the scriptures say this is the condition of the battle. You want to understand the conditions of the battle that you're fighting. Okay, and you're fighting a losing battle, but you win in the end if you don't give up. Okay, You watch these movies, these superhero movies and animes, and it always seems that they're fighting a losing battle, and that's what makes it so good. It's because you worry for the character. Oh no, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. I hope they win. I hope they win. You know, and in the end, they end up winning because they didn't give up. You know, so everything is, you can find wisdom in everything, man. You just gotta meditate, consider these things. But I truly was lesson was edifying to you. I can YAHAWAH to listen in truth and sincerity. So next time I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Shalom.